We've all heard it, right? Follow your passion. It's pretty much the number one piece of advice for finding a career you love. But what if it's actually kind of bad advice? In this explainer, we're going to dig into the passion paradox and figure out if this super common saying might be leading us down the wrong path. I mean, this one phrase, it's the dream, isn't it? It promises a life where your job doesn't even feel like work, where what you love to do is what you get paid to do. It's so simple, it's so powerful, and you see it absolutely everywhere. But, what happens when that path isn't so smooth? What if you don't actually have one single glaring passion that you can point to? Or, and this is a big one, what if turning that thing you love into a job makes you stop loving it? This is exactly what the passion paradox is all about. Okay, so before we start poking holes in this idea, let's be fair, we've got to understand the promise. There's a really good reason this advice is so popular, because when it works, wow, the benefits are incredible. When you're pursuing something you're genuinely passionate about, it taps into this powerful internal drive. It gives you that why you need to push through when things get tough, and it connects your work to a much deeper sense of purpose. It makes you grow, you learn about yourself, and it can even get you into that incredible flow state. You know that feeling, right? When you're so completely absorbed in what you're doing that time just disappears? And this isn't just some vague feeling either. It has real, measurable effects on us. For instance, research shows that just engaging in your passions, even as a hobby, can seriously lower your stress. One study found it dropped stress levels by 34%. That's a huge deal, and a pretty powerful argument for making space for passion in your life. All right, but the story doesn't end there. For a lot of people, this advice comes with some serious hidden traps that can lead straight to frustration, anxiety, and yeah, even burnout. So let's flip this around and look at the other side of the coin. So here's a crucial piece of the puzzle. It really matters how we think about passion. Research from Stanford points out this huge problem, the myth that you have to find your passion. This idea treats passion like it's some hidden treasure you just have to discover. And if you believe that, it's super easy to just give up the second things get difficult. The reality? Passion is usually something you develop. It's something you grow and cultivate with time, with effort, and with a whole lot of persistence. And shifting that mindset is so important because chasing a passion without a solid plan can lead to some very real-world problems. We're talking about things like financial trouble, setting completely unrealistic expectations, and a huge risk of burnout, especially when you try to turn a fun hobby into your main gig. You just can't ignore the practical side of life. So, is passion good or is it bad? Well, as it turns out, the answer isn't a simple yes or no. Psychology actually gives us a much smarter way to look at this whole thing, and it suggests that not all passion is the same. And this brings us to something called the dualistic model of passion. It's a framework from a researcher named Robert J. Vallerand, and honestly, it's a total game changer. It says there are basically two completely different ways we experience passion, and it all depends on how that passion fits in with the rest of our identity. And this table just lays it out perfectly. On one side, you have harmonious passion. This is the good stuff. It's something you choose freely, and it fits in nicely with the other parts of your life. In short, you are in control of your passion. And this leads to all the positive things: happiness, satisfaction, well-being. But then, on the other side, you have obsessive passion. This feels more like an uncontrollable need, something you have to do. With this one, your passion controls you. And that is a fast track to anxiety, burnout, and causing major problems in other areas of your life. Understanding that difference between harmonious and obsessive passion is everything. So the big question is, how do we actually build the healthy, harmonious kind? Let's break down a really practical way to do it. Okay, step one, completely ditch the idea of finding your passion. Instead, adopt that develop mindset we talked about. Explore your interests, put in the effort, stay curious, and grow it from there. Step two, get real. You've got to balance your passion with practicality. And hey, it is totally okay if your passion is a hobby and not your full-time job. Sometimes that's the best way to protect it. And finally, step three, actively work on creating harmony. This just means making sure your passion adds to your life instead of taking over, so it stays a source of joy and not a source of stress. So when you really think about it, maybe the advice shouldn't be to follow your passion like it's some destination on a map. Maybe the real power is in a completely different approach. And that leaves us with a final thought. Instead of trying to find your passion, what will you choose to build?